Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Woo woo. Oh, look at all these people, the early bird people. Roxanne was my first one. I saw her come in. Thank you for joining and good morning. I think I had lunch or like a couple hours ago. Um, let's see. I've got echoes somewhere. All right. Okay. I think my echo's gone. Maybe not. I see it. Okay. Figure that part out. But at least it looks like it's streaming where it's supposed to. I did not get any errors. So hopefully, otherwise, it is always live on YouTube. It'll go inside of the groups once I get done. If it did not stream, but I did not get any errors this time. Yay, finally. Thank you so much for joining. Awesome. I think there's a lot of people that want to learn about CMAs, which is awesome because this is such an incredible tool. And of course, I want to know, my favorite students, Chris, have you done the CMAs yet? I am curious if anyone has done the CMAs, how it's worked for you, how you're using them. Are you using them for your buyer tours? Are you using them for pre-listings? What are you doing? I just saw you in the dashboard for the relocation guide because I'm using Chrissy's account. And the ones that, hello, if I don't know who you are, because you're a Remax Elite, fellow Remax Eliter. Awesome. Yeah, RPR is pretty intensive. There is so much information in there. I think COREpresent, one of those tools, super easy to do. But what we do want to go over today is really how to customize, because you can add some branding, add testimonials, add your own listing presentation inside of this. So that way, all you have to do is click on the button, put an address in, and share, save, whatever you want to do. So I do want to kind of cover just at least the basics, getting everything set up and how easy it is, how you can see what they're doing, which is pretty cool. I have not been in RPR in forever, so I am curious. I think that has like a ton of information, great for the analytical engineer brain, but there is a way to make it pretty simple using the CMA tool, and it links. You can tie it to somebody. There's a lot of cool stuff we can do. So we do want to go over that. I just want to say hello. Thank you. Oh, Laura, how are you? I haven't seen that face in a while. All right. So I'm going to move my screen over so I can go ahead and share KV Core. And don't forget, this is an Ask Me Anything. It's the first one of the year. But definitely, if you have questions on something other than the CMA COREpresent, feel free. Put the comments below. I will be kind of looking through those as I'm going over everything. But when you're in your dashboard to get to your COREpresent, we're going to come over to marketing. You can click on there and see everything, or you're going to see you have COREpresent right down here. It will open it up in a new window. Ready to win the listing? And it's pretty cool, the buyer's tours and stuff like that. I'll show you that, all of that fun stuff. So as with almost everything inside of your KV Core dashboard, in the top right is usually where you're going to find tips, tutorials, videos, all of that good stuff, as well as any settings if there is something that needs to be set up on your end, or it could make your life easier. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is come over to customize your settings. This way you can see your about you, and we have 3 different templates. There's a lot of different graphics, just kind of information, Remax related, but you can also upload your own PDFs and all of that good stuff as well. But I'm going to start with the right, the About Us, About You section, because you do want to make sure you can have your bio in here, add in a secondary logo, and make sure your name is displayed. So what we can do, just a little bit, add in that secondary logo and the About You, save and continue. And you can also add in 3 different testimonials. So copy paste, add 3 different testimonials, one of your favorites, maybe, and definitely I'm curious if maybe this is a good one for the longer testimonials so that it'll fill up this page. But super important is the link for more reviews when you do share this via link versus the PDF. More reviews. As you can see, we have it linked. You could link it to Zillow. You could link it to your Google, wherever you have reviews. Hopefully you have them on your website where you have copied and pasted. You have them. You have that testimonial page on your actual website. And I know in March, and I just did the presentation this morning to help my ADHD brain stay on track. All roads lead back to your website. So hopefully you have manually added your reviews by now onto your website. Link it to that page because it can sync with your Zillow, or you can copy and paste. But, you know, we want to drive people back to the website, right? So to me, this is an ample opportunity. Make sure you have more reviews. You can put in any link in that spot. I personally would recommend making sure it goes to your website, to the testimonial page on your website. So once you have those done, go ahead and save and continue. That's the important part on the About You. Now we're going to go into all of these different ones, and I won't go in depth for each one. I just want to kind of at least show you how we can edit. And these are all different looks and feels. So for me, I like to customize each one, because if I'm going to a luxury, I may have different slides in that one than I do just the traditional, or you may like the look and feel of one versus another. So we're just going to touch base a little bit on each of these. So as you can see, the first thing I get to, we're on the standard, is themes. So watch this area here as we go through the different look and feel. So see how it changes just a little bit. Where the border, so I have this first one, the default. I think I like it like that. You also have colors. So, oh, and this is new. We could not do this. And I just did this class before Christmas. We could not change these colors. So I had her branding. So again, that's awesome because these were red, white, and blue. That's why I was wondering why that was gray. So awesome. Maybe it's a brand new feature. We all just learned something today because this was there when we first got it, and then it went to that feature was locked. So maybe they've just unlocked it, or maybe it's just oopsie and they didn't realize that. So definitely, if you have Canva, you know your color codes, slap your color code right in there so that you can make sure that this is to your branding. Same with fonts. Here's different fonts, and this was locked too. I was able to upload fonts. Maybe it was in here, whatnot. I believe in here I was able to, but for certainly you have your header. So that's going to be the bolder font of anything that you do. And then you can also change the body. So that'll be the text that's inside of the actual presentation versus that header, which would be bigger. So let me just go ahead. Like that one. Logos. So you can see on the office level. So if you're a team leader, brokerage, make sure you've gone in here to upload your own office logo so that it shows up here versus just showing RE/MAX logo. So add your branding, and you can add more logos, and those will appear right next to the office logo. So you have your own logo, make sure to upload it in those spots, and you can see you can have 3. And then when you get down to info placement, that is top or bottom. Oh, okay, Tracy, interesting. So it definitely must be an oops. I'm not in a brokerage. I'm in a regular agent's account. And normally even the brokers see that locked for the fonts and colors. That's been locked. So I am curious, Tracy, when you go into yours, do you see, I believe the default, mine was like a blue, the blue color for RE/MAX on these templates, and it was always locked. So I don't know, probably just an oopsie. It tends to happen, I guess. So interesting on that. But so you can have your information on the top or on the bottom. So it's like a normal presentation, how we see things, completely up to you and how you want to change these as you do it. And no, you can edit these at any time. Okay, so it's gray and black to you. And by default, I'm almost positive it was blue on my end before I could change the color. So interesting. I'm curious if anyone else is in, if yours are locked or if anybody else is unlocked. I have no idea why mine, they've never been unlocked except for I think when we first got everything, I was able to change colors. All right, so we're going to save that, and I'm going to go over to the buyer section. So once we have the look and feel, again, I'm on the traditional one. This is different look and feel for each of those 3 different types of presentations. So here I'm under the buyer. You have different ways that different presentations that'll have different information you can choose from. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose the why am I a right fit. So this is just kind of showing what the presentation will look like with an address. I have my about me. I want to toggle that on, of course. I have my testimonials. I want to turn that on. And then we're going to get to some different kind of generic pages. And as you can see, this one's like value of an agent, the home buying process, realtor versus iBuyer. So toggle on anything that makes sense for your market. So you can go through, and some pages will have pages very similar, like when you get to the world map and different things like that. They will be similar, like same content, but in a different design. So you can see which ones you like. I don't like that one. That to me feels like it's 3 years old as far as the look and feel. But so just go through. Maybe you like that one. Okay, I like that. So lots of different, information. As you can see here, if you are a commercial agent, this is great. It has all these different commercial pages. You also have a lot of the collection pages automatically brought up in there. So lots of good things, especially if you do a lot more of the higher end, make that your default. You can edit these at any time. I personally like to go in, turn on what I like, so that way in 45 seconds, I can have a CMA done, ready to send and attach it to somebody. So again, different look and feel. I like this one versus that one because to me, it just feels like there's too much empty space over here. So I'm clicking on the global. I like that one. It fills up the full body and you can see the power, agent productivity, whichever ones you want. I try not to throw up too much information, but these are perfect for like your pre-listing presentation. It also is going to allow you to see where the person spent the most time. So when you go to that actual appointment, you can go into the analytics and see what was important to them? What are they focused on the most? Are they just looking at the prices in homes? Are they looking at the data? What are they doing? Because it's going to help you know what's important to them based on what they viewed and spent the most time on. So I personally love these for a pre-listing, and maybe you do this for pre-listing, send it, as a reminder for the appointment. And then you have your RPR more fully in depth that you can leave or do whatever during the appointment. I personally am not a big presentation person. Like, here you go. I want to know what's important. I want to make sure to get that rapport. To me, that would be the most important because then they feel they get to trust you. When you create that relationship, it's so much different than just pages. So I don't usually recommend going over all of this fluffy pieces, but more so it's nice if you do have it printed as a presentation or you send it via a link. It's nice to have. It's pretty cool. So giving back, yes, Miracle Office, number snapshot. Let's go for it. I don't need that. What's my home worth? This, I would definitely turn these on for the CMA overview. This is an interactive page. You can see everything, every single listing. They're color coded based on coming soon, listed, pending, or sold. So definitely you want to keep that on. And the big picture scale, that gives them a different way to view the properties based on their price, which is pretty cool. Let's see, pricing misconceptions, if you want that there. Marketing analysis. This is that marketing overview. I do like that. Each of these, the fresh is pretty cool. We'll get into that. It's like fresh and stale. So you can actually see the listings based on days on market, which is pretty fascinating. So let's come over here. Oh, let's see what factors. Yes, let's keep that on. Why is pricing? Yes, super important. Importance of opening weekend. We'll go ahead and do that. All right, buyer demand. So see, there's a ton of pages there. We just get to decide if we want them there or not. So yes, we want that. Buyer interest. Yes. Importance of staging. Sure. Marketing plan. Yes. Property boost. Yes. Obviously, if you're not doing property boost, you probably don't want to say you're doing property boost, but we do. So core social. Yes. Next steps. So next steps are at the end of the presentation. You can add a link or change what you want to be said for that option. So you see here, let's get started, and I need more time or information, so they can click on one or the other. So this is what will happen when they do that. And I have to remember where to add that link. I thought it was when I was there, but it wasn't. So it'll kind of give you a little feedback like, yes, let's go for it, or no, I need more time because of, and it allows them to put in a reason. So I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. Oh, I'm just setting up. So the link, I believe, is after the, once I do actually do the COREpresent, the CMA. So modern, I'm just going to give you, obviously it has the same pages that you can choose from. I just want to show you the different look and feel for. So see how this just changes just a little bit, how the information is displayed. I believe that's the only thing in the header. I like this one. So I'm just going to save and continue. Let's see if this one allows colors. It does. That is crazy. I don't know why. That's so bizarre. I'm not going to go through all of that one. So let's go ahead and save and continue. And then you have the luxury. I just want you to see the different look and feel of the different types of presentations. And yeah, this is normally the luxury, the navy blue. So I don't have my Canva open. So I'm just going to try to find a navy blue. There we go. That's pretty close. Normally by default, this is the Remax, luxury navy blue. So interesting that mine are showing them up as black now. So again, same thing, changing the fonts, anything like, well, I don't know if you can or not. Logos, make sure if you have a branding, even if you just go into Word, Publisher, PowerPoint, Google Slides, whatever, make your name your logo. So that way it's even bigger, or put your website or anything like that. It doesn't have to be some fancy logo. You can add secondary and a third different types of logo that's going to display more of your information on the presentation pages itself. Can never go wrong, just even if it's adding your name. So we're just going to go ahead and save and continue. Don't need to do anything else. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here. So now we've customized our presentations. That may take a few minutes to do that off the bat. Oh, and I do want to go down here, your presentation library. This is where I can add a slide or I can upload my own. So this is just showing, I can add my own. I can design it in here if I wanted to. I can upload an image. I can upload a video. I can upload a full presentation. So see that? Full presentation. And this is important. And if you have your presentation in Canva, this is easy peasy because you're just going to take your presentation. It is probably going to be in that PDF version, more like that flyer. And all you need to do is just go to resize it to a presentation. I use the 16:9, I believe. And then you may just have to kind of edit the pages so that it, fits on the right size, but the content's already there. It's just a matter of kind of adjusting where things go. But luckily when the content's there, that doesn't take too much time, but it is super nice. Save it as a PDF, upload them. So that way, if you're sharing with the web link, which is going to show you the heat map of their, what their mouse is doing, or the PDF, because you can download it. And that way, everything for that new listing or the presentation is going to have your content in addition to whatever you've chosen within those templates. So make sure you do that. And let's see. And then you can always preview it. So add in whatever it is that you want to add, create your own, however you want to do that. Again, that was when you're on the COREpresent in that top right where you have the customize, that's your presentation library. And of course, then you have your different videos and tutorials on going more in depth on different elements of the entire COREpresent. And then you have your track and results. So this is where I could go in and I can see what they're doing. So if I clicked on there, see how I can see a heat map. What's important? It's almost like that storm, right? So you have like, oh, light rain, and then the full-on lightning thunderstorm, same thing. What is important to them? What properties? If they're not sure, they kind of leave you hanging after you send this out to them. You can always say, hey, did you see the house down the street from you, 123 Main Street, was just listed last week? Did you see that on the report? Don't tell them you saw it was hot, hot, hot because you saw that they spent a lot of time on that property. It's a great way for you to open up that line of communication again. And here it even shows you, do you have any questions on the report I sent you? Did you happen to notice the house on blah, blah, blah? Like it's even giving you suggestions. Don't say, hey, I have a heat map. I can see exactly what you're doing. Make it a point to know what's important to them and use that as opening a line of communication. It's just telling you where they spent the most time on the different pages and all of that fun stuff. So I can see all that fun stuff. So that's pretty cool. One of the things I absolutely love to be able to see what they're doing. Let's see, interactive. I was just curious. I haven't seen that in a while, but this is an older one. So now you can see how to customize your presentation library to upload your own content, graphics, PDFs, however you want, tracking so you can actually track what you've sent, and then any of the help FAQs on everything for COREpresent. And these are just the ones that I've done. So if this one is old, you can always click update to get the most recent everything, especially if you're going to resend it or anything like that. Here's where I have my web and PDF links. So I can click over and see it. I can share it. I can email it, or I can delete it. This stopped working. This basically gives me my tracking, and it used to be for each one. And I'm not sure why, and it could be because I don't know why it used to work. And I don't know if it's just because they're older. No idea. But I'm curious if you guys, this usually has colors in it and I can click on it, but I don't see it working right now. So not sure why. Maybe it's because these are older, but I want to show you how easy it is to go through once you've set up everything, how we can easily do the CMA, because I know that's what you want. But there are a couple different options. You have a win the listing, win the offer, present information, like create a presentation. I have not been in there. And then the buyer tour. The buyer tour is actually pretty cool. So I'll show you that really quick. So if you are going out to do, you're going out for the day to show properties, you have the MLS numbers and you can manually add them one at a time. Or I just, for the sake of the class, I just went and found like 3 MLSs. You can add all the MLSs. I found no space, but they have to be separated by comma. So enter all the properties you're going to be showing. Then you can go ahead. It's going to separate them out. And of course, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So if you're like, oh, well, we're starting out over here, I'm going to make an adjustment, drag and drop so that it's in the order that you are actually going to show the properties, because it'll be super nice for them to be able to see all the information. And prepared for, this is when you can type in somebody. If they're already in your system, just start typing in somebody's name. And it, as you can see, as I start typing, it's auto-populating from my contacts inside of my CRM. So I'm going to attach it to them. If it is somebody who is not in your database yet, go right here. Don't have a KV Core client contact created. Click here. It'll allow you to quickly add them into your CRM as well. So now I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. I need that Jeopardy music. And now this is basically where it's showing the information, and you can email it to them, or you can download it. I would probably email it to them using the web link, but also have the PDF for them to be able to write notes and everything else. So I can come down here. Here's the properties. It's going to show them all of the information on the web. You can see data, photos, all of this cool information on the properties. So it's a pretty cool way. Here's all the listings we're doing. Go ahead and do that. And on the web version, they even have a way for them to rate the property. So that's helping you know what they like not interested at all on this one. Oh, I kind of like that one. And okay, I'm ready to make an offer. So they can rate what they thought about those properties all inside of here. And then of course you get all that information. So now I can present and share, or let's go to see what the PDF looks like. So here's the introduction. Let me come over here. So this would be my name. Then it's going to have the average price, bedroom, bath, da, da, da. So it's giving them that map view. I clicked too much. So this is actually giving a printout of just kind of a generic printout of the listing, but it has that note section for them. So I can come, where's the next properties? And I randomly just grabbed MLS numbers from a website. All right, so here you go over here. See how it has everything, all the, the important information, notes, because you're going to see it. So it's pretty cool to be able to share this before you're going to the property. And if you printed it out for them, I don't know that, maybe they just give you that sheet back. That seems weird too. I don't know. But I'm curious to see if you guys do any of this, but I wanted to at least let you know the buyer store is pretty cool, especially if you're going out showing properties. It's a pretty unique way to be able to share with them that link via email prior to you going out, and then having the PDF version so that they can write notes and all of that good stuff as you're going and looking at properties. All right, so that is the buyer's tour. Is that pretty cool? Nobody commented on that part. Now we're going to get to the good stuff. We are going straight into win the listing. We are going to create the CMA. So I'm going to try to, because I do so many in it. Okay, there we go. Nope. No, I'm trying to remember, where am I? All right, there we are. So I'm just going to use an address I know from somebody in the area of where this website is. So you put in the address. As you can see, it auto populates as you type in the address, and it goes with the drop down. I click next. You do want to make sure this information is correct, because I know this is not correct. My goodness, they probably have 5 bedrooms. I know they have at least 5. I know on my property for this, actually, my tax records were never correct. It always said 3 bedrooms, and it was 4 bedrooms with an office. So always make sure that you have the basic information from somebody before you just randomly do this. Because if you do a CMA for a 3 bedroom when they told you there's 5, or you know that they've done all of this other stuff to it, make sure you just the year, because tax records, they may be a little squirrely or not been updated. But this is the living area, and I believe this is total under air, or total, not necessarily under air. But make sure you just have this information correct. Verify it before you build it. And you could just skip right there to the presentation and be done. That would be 30 seconds. I want to show you some of the cool stuff that you can do. So we're going to go next. And this is showing you the information is getting populated by your MLS automatically. You don't have to do anything. It's basically anything similar to that property. And so you can pick and choose. You could go through and really narrow it down on anything. So bedroom count, maybe I'm okay with it, being, let's see. Well, if I do 3, it probably might be more, but you can make adjustments. And especially if you're in an area where there's not a ton of properties, you may need to. So it automatically is going back 6 months. which is probably accurate in this. Maybe, if you don't have to go back that far, it just depends. But you can go through and make these adjustments. This is automatically, I didn't have to do anything, but you can make that change. I think the year built, that's an option. So it will pull all years. And then close date, this is where it's showing it's 6 months. And then you have the lot size. If you don't want to use what they have and you've already done, pulled all the comps for the property on your MLS, you can come right over here and just like we did on the buyer's tour, enter the MLSs. And then only those properties will actually show up, but still pulls all the data and everything else, just like it does for auto. But maybe you don't want all of these properties on here. And there's color coding. So you have color coding down here. So the actives, they're green. The pendings will be orange, which I don't see any here. Coming soon, those would be blue. And then sold is the red. And you can see some of them are not red, but they're kind of like a darker color. And that may be because it's not as great of a match as you may want. But if you're running out of sold comps or something like that, you may need to kind of go through these dark ones to add it to the comps. So I don't know if you could see that. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. So see how that's red. That's a good match. It's showing up automatically as it's a good match. And see how those are kind of a different color red. They're kind of like a maroon purpley. And that's just, and it's showing right here, 29% smaller than your actual property. So you may just need to, however I have it way zoomed in. Okay. So you can add it. If it's like, well, it's pretty close to the property, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the comps. And then it's going to turn it bright red again. So now it's part of your comps, all of that. So you can go through, and this is just kind of showing that radius. But of course, you can adjust that as well. So if there's apartments over here or baby condos, and putting those in there just is going to mess up the pricing and all of that. You can make those adjustments. But again, you could just put in the address, go straight to CMA, and you're done. But I want to show you all the different things that you could do. So I'm going to go ahead and just click next. And okay, so we can see, and this is going over just a different way for them to be able to look at this. You can have price per square footage on there. You have the trends. So you can, what do you want to display on there? Features, all of that kind of stuff. If you have your own price in mind, put that in there and that will show up. I'll just, Heather. Oh, I'm supposed to enter a price there. Let's see what prices are these? All right. Or you can put in a range. So maybe, bear with me. So I can add. So, and because I'm under Chrissy, so it's showing where you think it is. Or maybe they have a cousin who knows everything. Maybe you can put in their price range, because it's going to allow you to see, where everything is on that timeline and the prices and all that kind of stuff. Now, when you get down here, this is pretty cool. So you have the average list sale price. It's giving you some more data to look at. I love these numbers. The fresh stale, pretty cool, because this is showing you, let me zoom out so we can get some of these properties. This is showing you based on color on the listings that we have, the active listings, how fresh or stale they are. So you can see these two are pretty close. I mean, this one was just listed. This one looks like 6 to 8 weeks. And this blue one here, that's 12 to 14 weeks. So this also may help as you're going through your listing presentation, going over the comps. You may see that higher end price has been there for a long time versus, some of the solds that were gone, in a few weeks. So it's just a great time to kind of talk about pricing and not, always running from the market or chasing the market. So just different ways that you can do that, price per square footage. And so these are pretty cool. And it's just telling you the average days like on market for this area. All right. So we're done with the CMA. We've got all the comps, everything that listed. I just wanted to show you all the cool stuff there. And now maybe I just want to save it to one of the people that maybe they didn't, did the sell page. Maybe they're interested or just pondering the idea. All I have to do is start typing in the client, just like I did before. Let's see, social. Or you can click there and add them manually, just like on the other one. So now I've selected them and I'm going to go ahead and add. Now this is going to be in their name in your CRM. So now it's attached to them. It'll also be in that journey part that you created a CMA for them. So at least it's always there. Or let's go ahead and create the presentation. I need that. So this is just if you wanted to change anything, it's just kind of going through. And of course, you can, what template do you want? And this is where if you didn't pre-set up, where you would go through and set up all the different slides that you want. But for me, go in, do that once for all the presentations, and you won't have to go through everything every single time. It's pre-done. You save that template, and then you just decide what you want, which one you want to use for that particular address, and you're good to go. So again, it's just kind of showing you everything that we went over. And here's where you get to the next steps. And it's not letting me put in the link. It is in here somewhere. I had it. I used to be able to do that. Now I don't remember where I did that. Okay. There is a place to be able to put a link. You could literally put in a listing presentation if you can have it by link for them to fill out or sign or whatever it is. Or if you use Calendly or an appointment scheduler, you could link it. Like, let's schedule your appointment now, or, there's a lot of different things that you can do. I just have to remember where that was, or if anybody knows off the top of your head, you want to put in the comments, I'd be happy. I know there's a way to do it. I just off the top of my head cannot remember. So here I have preview web, or I can present and share, and then I can get the web link. Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay. Need to go one more step. All right. So it's telling me who the client was because I did attach them. I can add a listing agreement URL, or I can upload a PDF. I can add net sheet. So you can add the net sheet if you want to. That, to me, it'd be easier just to kind of upload that as a PDF or send it separately. But if you want to fill that out, add a video link. So if you use YouTube or Loom, maybe you want to thank them for looking at that and what the next steps would be. You could put that, just record yourself, throw it up on YouTube or Vimeo or even Loom. Loom is free. And then you have a link. And now it shows that at the end, and it's more personal on what the next steps would be. So it didn't have Vimeo, but Loom. And Loom, my goodness, I use Loom for almost all my short form videos. Awesome. And it's free. I just use it a lot. So I think I pay for it. Open presentation, email presentation, download and print. And so I guess that was the add listing agreement link would go on to I'm ready now. So you can do all sorts of different things, or I can just copy this. Or if you need to edit, there was the edit button there too. But now you have the full presentation. So lots of cool stuff. And then you're able to see everything that you had wanted on the presentation. I did want to show you this page because I didn't before, but this is a pretty powerful page. And for the most of us, KV course fairly new, but I can guarantee you 6 months to a year, this might be your favorite page on the entire presentation, because it is allowing you on a broker level all the way down to the agent level, how many people are in the database and the CRMs from that top company level, trickling all the way down, that match this property. That is pretty powerful. When we had KV Core previously, this number was in the thousands, like 13,000 or something like that because we had been using it for so long, pay-per-click and everything like that. So it's still new to most of us. This number's not very powerful, especially on this office because they still use a different platform. They, just now going all in. But this is pretty cool. These numbers are only going to get more impressive. For me, it was a pretty powerful number. Just saying. It was, and it's literally even pulling in like IDs so that people know these are actual people. And again, on a company level, everything is private for admins, but everybody does have like that number. So if Christy gets this listing and she goes back to this, she could even go to the admins or maybe even do a search for this buyer ID in the system, and it's going to tell her who is that? What listing has that person that matches this property? Of course, when you go into your listing playbooks, it'll automatically do that for you once you send that agent email, which I know we did that a couple weeks ago. But so definitely go through. Lots of cool stuff on here. Is that pretty cool though? Is that pretty fast? So should I do one without going through all the fluff just so you can time me? Yes, all the trainings I do in the group, they're always recording. They're recorded. They're up on my YouTube. They're on my website. They're in the groups that it's being live in. I try to make these available to anybody after the fact as well. We've got a great group on though. All right. So I love the video. That is, to me, it's a no-brainer. Thank them. Make it personal so that they interact and want to reply and say, let's do this thing. Lots of great things. Thank you, Wendy. I try. And that's why I try to have these Ask Me Anythings open. I use KV Core all day long for so many different ways. And my head is a scary place to be. And those of you that know me or have seen my videos, you all know that anyway. Let's see. I'm looking if any questions, because it's pretty cool. I know you guys want to go try this, right? Because it is super easy. I'm going to go to COREpresent home. And I just want to show you, if I didn't go through all the fluff and show you everything, how fast. So we can time. I don't have a stop, but we'll get an idea. So when the listing, let's see. I have no idea. I just have to make up something. Well, I don't even, that's not even close to this area. I'm trying to 782. Let's see. My goodness, I only lived here forever and ever and ever in like 1,000 homes. My mom just loved buying houses, but my grandmother was a realtor, so maybe that's why. Oh, check this out. Great new listing. Okay, yeah, we're moving. Yay. And now skip to presentation. So I think it took me longer to figure out an address I can plug in there for you guys than it did to actually build the presentation, present, and all that fun stuff. So pretty darn easy to be able to create this. The biggest thing is going through your settings to make sure it's exactly the way you want. Add in your own pictures, video, PDFs, all of that fun stuff. All right, let's see here. I am going through. Love it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Awesome. All right, guys, what other questions do you have? I was able to do that in 4. I knew it was going to be a shorter class, but figured maybe somebody had any questions, or I'm curious if anyone's used this. So if there are no other questions, I'm just looking through my comments here. If there's no other questions, I want to know if you guys use this and what the results are. Oh, okay. Question. I see a question, and it's Michelle. All right. Oh, yeah. Got me on that one. I can't answer that. I don't work for KV Core or Remax, so I cannot answer that. But of course, Michelle, you can just email me like everybody else does. I think I should ask Remax for a drink or two at R4. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure about the support. I personally do not use the chat, and maybe I could now. I know before that was the only way I reach support. I personally just email support now. So, and eventually I will get an answer. It may take a month. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I email because I cannot be on chat because I'm in too many accounts all day long. And then when the chat responds, and then they'll close out the ticket if I don't get back to them in time. And I'm always on Zoom or doing classes, so I'm never able to reach back out to them. I email, and I guess now we can use the product support at remax.com to get support, or email KV Core. But I think Remax has taken over everything. I know for, the holidays always gets a little odd with who's where, support, all of that kind of stuff. And I also know they just released all of the different templates. I'm going to go ahead and remove this so I can just talk to you guys. They just released all the new website templates and all that good stuff. So I don't know if you guys have played with the new templates, but that is next month's class. And then by popular request with what everybody, when we were asking for feedback, a lot of people wanted to know ways to drive traffic to your website. And that is something I'm very passionate about. So I will be sharing, that's March's class. Just, you have a website, now what? That's all, probably one of my biggest questions I get. Okay, I have a website, but I don't get any leads from it. And my first thing is, well, what are you doing to drive traffic back to your website? I go to their social. There's no links. There's just photos of their listings. There's no call to actions to their website. So we'll go over a lot of fun stuff. Next month will be a much shorter. It's just, I don't want you to be afraid to change the templates. Sometimes it will play with the widgets a little bit, but every widget you have is in your history or still over in the column. It's just a matter of removing the ones that a new template, if it's a luxury template, it may have luxury items. So I don't want you to be afraid to play and see what those new templates look like. There's definitely a little difference between them. So next month, I will be taking a website and we'll just be changing it all around using the different templates. And then we have the website. And of course, let me know if there's any other website, KV Core, whatever techie classes you want me to do. And I'm happy to do them for you. And fear of campaigns. Don't be afraid. To me, I love the campaigns. Perfect or not, online leads, I can say I've been running pay-per-click campaigns, thousands of dollars a month for 15 years. Online leads today are not what they were then. For me, I would not even have a website that did not have those auto campaigns, artificial intelligence, texting, all of that. Don't be afraid. Think of those campaigns, those texts, the behavioral alerts as your inside sales agent. And we used to pay people a lot of money to do what the system does for us. And crazy or not, the system is working your leads on your behalf so you can focus on income producing activities. So whether it's perfect or not, I believe the last I checked, the conversion is like less than 1% on online leads. So for me, I need a system to work these people for me. All of what the campaigns are, they're probing, they're asking questions, trying to get that person to respond to you. Once they do that, they're going to be moved over from that new lead, which is the aggressive campaign, over to the active campaign, which isn't nearly as aggressive. It's going to be, the system will tell you to do more things than it's going to be doing with the client, if that makes sense. It'll give you more tasks because at this point, they've replied to one of the emails or texts. Now, hopefully you have responded back and now you're in communication. Now they're not going to be on that aggressive campaign. So for me, unless you, I mean, I definitely have agents that would turn that off because they are on it. They know how to do it. I have one of my agents, I mean, that she was our inside sales agent. So if she has them turned off, I know, have zero doubt in my mind, she's working these leads because I know she does. And she did it for our entire office. So she kills it when it comes to online leads. But if it's not your thing, you need to be prospecting and getting belly to belly and let the system be your assistant. And that's what I say. It's my assistant. And I know I've said it in other classes. I mean, if we had one of those texts go out, behavioral alerts, because they looked at a property a few times within, a 7-day period, and the text was, "Oh, I have free time this weekend. Would you like to go see a house?" And well, we were all closed and boarding up our houses because a hurricane was coming that weekend. So she got, like, "Oh my gosh, this text thing just sent this person," and they replied like, "Aren't you guys having a hurricane?" It's okay. It's your assistant. They're doing their job. I forgot to tell them not to do this because you've been busy. And you know what? They laugh about it, but you know what? That lead had been in the system for 2 years. That was the text they responded to. They ended up flying in town after the hurricane was gone, buying the house. So look at that as, to me, it's your assistant. So you can focus on what actually works, income producing activities. So that's what I have to say about that. But anyway, let me know anything you want to do. Thank you so much for joining. Happy New Year. And we'll talk with you guys soon. Bye, everyone.